And welcome back to Sports Weekly on IEMG. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez, talking some college basketball right now. You might remember last season, Cal State San Bernardino men's basketball going all the way to the NCAA Division II Final Four. Well, the Yotes are having another great season. Highly ranked, in fact, one of the top-ranked teams in all of Division II already this season with a new head coach and Gus Argenal. This was our first opportunity to hear from Coach Argenal about the season so far for the Yotes and his expectations for the program. And guys, they're really good again. Don't be surprised to see Cal State San Bernardino make another deep playoff run. And now join us here on the show. He is the head coach of Cal State San Bernardino men's basketball, Gus Argenal. And Coach, welcome to the show. We appreciate it. It's the first time we've had a chance to chat. And before we talk about this year's edition of Yotes basketball, let's rewind just a couple of months ago. Back when you first heard that Cal State San Bernardino was open and you were interested in the job, what did you like about Cal State San Bernardino in the program from afar?
Well, first off, thanks so much for having me on. This is awesome, and I appreciate all you do to highlight the college teams in this area, in this region. It goes a long way, so thank you. And I think that's a big piece of why this job, when it opened up, when I was at Arkansas, we had two great seasons, and coming off of that, and I was just wanted to be back in the head coaching seat again, but also wanted a job where, one, there was a tradition of winning. There was an opportunity to have student athletes be treated the right way in terms of, how we travel, how we work. Again, we're in a Division II conference, but I really feel like this program is run like a Division I program. And then going back to my playing days at UC Davis, Larry Reynolds and Jeff Oliver were the two coaches at that time and had two of the best teams in the country when I was playing against them. And so I always remember walking into Casullus Arena and feeling like, this is as good as it gets, a packed house with a top 10, top 15 program. And so I really, had those visions from the past in my mind of what I know this program can be and again, what we should make it.
Coach, you step into a situation where, the Yotes went to the Division II Final Four from a season ago. So I've never been a coach. I'm a media guy, but explain it to me. Do you think there's more pressure going into a situation where the team's had a ton of success as opposed to, let's say, a team went 2-25 the previous season and there's nowhere to go but up? I mean, you're inheriting a really good program, and I'm sure the expectation, that bar was already set high, and I'm sure you have big expectations as well for the program.
Well, there's no doubt if you're in a coaching job search, following somebody that goes to a Final Four, everybody goes, man, that's tough. But for me, I don't think there's ever going to be a situation where this job isn't competing to be one of the best teams in the country. So that's just par with the course. And again, what I wanted was to be a part of a program that expected to win and that could recruit the type of student athletes that can help you win. Is it more expectation? No, because as a coach and a competitor, every game is that national championship Super Bowl type game for us. And so that's something that I'm excited about and wanted. And then again, it kind of shows that it can be done here as well. So I think for our guys, and we have we have 5 returners that were a part of the Final Four team that now come here. I think it helps us. I think it brings a standard of excellence that we want, and championship people and students and in our athletic department. So it's exciting for me. I do think, though, one thing that our guys have had to get adjusted to is maybe a target on their back. Every game they step out, this is a chance that a team's playing against a really good team, a highly ranked team, whatever you want to call it, and they have to be ready to step up to that plate every time they get on the floor.
All right, so Coach, to piggyback off that, obviously maybe the timing of this interview is not the greatest, but you're coming off, the first loss of the season against a very good Cal State East Bay squad. So, what's kind of the message you go into practice and, following the first loss of the year, just to, kind of keep the guys upbeat, keep the confidence there, keep the momentum going, because you guys were off to a great start, top 2, top 3, top 4 in the nation right now in Division II.
Well, we're 6-1 to start the season, and going into last night, we respect every opponent. And obviously, I was former head coach at Cal State East Bay and have a lot of respect for Coach Rooney, and we're actually close friends. When he was going through the job process, and I was at Nevada, we really talked about East Bay. And but again, I think going into each game has its own identity, and our identity to this point is being one of the best defensive teams in the country. we're holding teams, under 40% from the floor, under 30, 20% from the three. And last night we just didn't play our A game defensively. And against a good team, they're going to come in and that gives them a chance to win. And came down to the last shot of the game, and we had a chance to tie it at the buzzer. And so if you don't defend, for us, our team identity is defensively stopping people, getting out in transition. So if we're not doing that, that really hurts us, and we turn the ball over too much. So it's all part of the journey. I think for our guys, their expectation is they never want to lose, and so is mine. But at the same time, you have to realize, well, what is guiding you to that point? And again, we didn't execute to that last night. But unfortunately, you got me the night after, but life goes on. I've been a part of a lot of wins, and I've been a part of losses as well. And part of being a professional is the sun comes up the next day, and how you teach and coach and treat people after that is the most important indicator of leadership in a good program.
Coach, let's talk about your coaching influences. You mentioned Arkansas, of course, Coach Musselman. I know David Patrick from his UC Riverside days. Who are some of the guys that you've been around, some of the coaches you've maybe coached with, played for, whatnot, that have influenced the way that you coach now here at Cal State San Bernardino?
Well, for sure, I have to start off with Coach Musselman, who you said, just coming from Arkansas and Nevada, we had some of the best 4-year runs you can have, being as high as the top 5 and Sweet 16s, Elite 8s, and so he's a huge piece of my mindset, defensive mindset, kind of the schemes that we come up with, being creative, the marketing piece that he has. Dedrick Taylor, who's right down the road at Cal State Fullerton, who coached me, and then I was able to coach with at Fullerton. His ability to win big at Fullerton has been really, really impressive. And I go back to, even people in this league. I worked for Gray Klink at Chico State, Jim Less at UC Davis, Ben Braun, who's a Hall of Famer, who was at Cal. Again, I've been around a lot of great coaches. I think the one thing that I've also been able to do is all of those coaches have been around other coaches. And so when I say I worked for Eric Musselman, I also worked in some ways then for Hubie Brown and for Mike Fratello, because those are people that he worked with and for. And so you take all these little nuggets, and again, allows you to pull and things you like, and it also just makes you a much more well-rounded coach, and allows you to get different takes on how to run your program. But I've been really fortunate to be around some of the best winners in college basketball on every single level.
Coach, let's talk about some of your players. Cal State lost some good ones from last year, but the cupboard's not bare. You got some returners here. Let's do a little name dropping. Who are some of the guys you're going to lean on this year?
Well, you have to start with 2 of our seniors that are returning. Cedric Altman, is one of our leading scorers, right here from Rialto, California. So loving having a guy from, Southern California, from the Inland Empire. He's off to a great start defending, knocking down shots, and he's a real energy guy for us. Robbie Robinson's from San Diego. Started for the Final Four team last year. He's really improved his game. He's stepping out on the floor. He's playing more on the perimeter as well. So I'm really excited about his growth. And then also from the returning team, Leandrew Knight, who had really limited minutes, and now he's like our 6th man and kind of our energizer bunny off the bench. So those are some of the returners that have really impacted thus far. And then Chris Mitchell's a transfer from Pomona, who's leading us overall in scoring. Again, versatile, can play the 2, 3, 4. Evan Guillory starting at the point for us, who's a transfer from Vermont, Division I originally. He's off to a great start of the year. He's a big guard that really defends, kind of leads our defense. And then off the bench, Sam Freeman's a transfer from Minnesota and Pacific. Again, he's a 6'9", tough, rugged defender. And then probably Jordan Jones and Bryce Mitchell, one from Mercer, one from Humboldt State, that are coming off the bench and giving us impact minutes. So you can tell we're a little bit older. We have some transfer guys that have come from 4-year institutions and some junior college California JUCO guys, but it's a good mesh. And I think that the returners and the newcomers have become to grow together as the seasons come along. And again, I think the best is yet to come. And in this early part of the season, we're still finding who exactly we are and what we need to do on a consistent basis to win.
Coach, as I think it was Herm Edwards, a longtime NFL coach, famously said, you play to win the game. But at this point, too, I mean, obviously you're trying to win every single game, like you said, and, go undefeated the rest of the way out. But is there something to be said to just go through this learning experience, especially when you have some returners, but you have some guys transferring into the program as well? Is this non-conference time, is it crucial to, or these early season games crucial to make sure that chemistry is coming together?
Yeah, and we have you got to really think we have 20 new people in the program. Me with the assistant coaches, everybody's trying to find their way of what is exactly wanted and how I coach each guy on a different basis day to day. But for sure, you want to win every single game. And if you ask me that, I would rather win and play really poorly, and we'll talk about it later, than lose and learn your lesson. But sometimes for a team, they have to get a reality check. And I think from how we started, it was, maybe coming down the road, we're getting too many self-inflicted wounds. And I really feel like this team, the way that we lose is from inside out. And again, whether it's turnovers, whether it's, us not being ready to stop their stars. And so, yeah, I think that this is really beneficial for us. And we have another tough one tomorrow against San Francisco State, who just beat Pomona. And then we go on the road for 2 games in Hawaii, against Hawaii Pacific, and then Alaska Anchorage, who's, one of the better teams in the region. So the slate is full, but we're excited about it. And again, we have to learn from our mistakes, and we will for sure. It's a good group.
Well, Coach, listen, I really appreciate the time. It's great to chat and talk some Yotes basketball with you. That is Gus Argenal, the head basketball coach at Cal State San Bernardino, here on the show. Coach, great start. Continued success for you and the Yotes the rest of the season, and hopefully we can do this again soon in the future.
Thanks so much. I really, really appreciate the time. Go Yotes.
The Yotes are set to have another big season. Big thanks to Coach Argenal for that interview. My name is Pep Fernandez. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the IE Media Group YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time.